Hello and welcome to the Blue Pencil Session. This is where we take a look at your pages and give you our deep thoughts. I'm here today with Donna and we are dissecting a thriller by Nicolle. So this is exciting to me because I love me a thriller. And I'm going to highlight that I think this is actually a really strong opening to a thriller. And even in particular, just the very first line, which is, "But I saw him. I know I did." So one that's just very intriguing, and it pulled me right in, and it raises lots of questions for the reader, which I think is great. We had a couple areas where we had more, everyone figured it out. So it's less of a bump, but just areas where I think you could make things just a touch more clear. So it opens with Ash, the main character, closes her eyes, and her fiance's mud-colored eyes and wavy dark hair were right there in the Boeing 337 unisex toilet with her. For a few beats in this story, I actually thought they were both in the bathroom. I thought maybe we were going to open with a hot airport sex scene for a moment there. So it just took me a beat. So I might just make it more clear that he's not in the bathroom with her. She's terrified because she thinks he's on this plane with her.
I wonder, and yeah, I had the same feeling, and I wonder if it's because she closed her eyes and then I made the assumption that when she opened her eyes, he was in the bathroom with her, in the toilet with her. So maybe it's as simple as, like, I don't know, something with not closing her eyes first.
Yeah, I think, again, people do figure it out really relatively quickly, but it is there. Now, the next interesting thing, which I thought was a very interesting, because you bumped on a word that I didn't, and then we talked about it before we recorded this. So I think it's a good one. So what word caught you?
Toilet. Go figure. The unisex toilet. I read it and it comes back a few times because then she plunked herself on the toilet seat. So when I hear toilet, I think of that throne that we sit on. The room that toilet is in is a bathroom to me. And I thought, well, if the audience, and it starts with Vancouver, Canada. So I'm in the place of, this is a story that's taking place in North America. So wouldn't the character call it a bathroom? And Eileen said very cleverly and sagely and way more educatedly than me,
is, of course, if you're living in Europe, they do call it a toilet, referring to the room that the toilet is actually in. So they use it all that way. And because we are in this character's point of view, I think it helps establish that point of view, that she would think of it as a toilet versus as a bathroom. So I think that actually helps to establish the character. And I think it's actually an interesting detail because I think it may catch a reader's eye, but as the story goes on, it really enriches that point of view. So that's a vote towards keeping the toilet. One of the things that we talked about is there were several lines along here where you just are helping set the tone. Like, this has a creepy, eerie tone. And again, it's a very short piece, but we're getting that right off the bat. A small thing you'll see that I would suggest, that when you have things like had aged 10 years in the past 36 hours, most editors will have you write out numbers under 100. So that's just a small thing.
Except for the inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What would you do with those?
I would leave those as numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The other detail that, again, I just really felt established a character is later in the book, in the pages that we're reading, a couple rounds of deep breathing, and she finally remembered the tiny pink pill she kept in her right jeans pocket, her in-case pill. I really liked that because I felt, again, that just really established some good things. Now, you had a bump and I had the same bump in a slightly different way, but I'm going to have you hit it.
All right. So right after that, she puts the pill under her tongue and lets it dissolve. Okay. Under her tongue and let it dissolve. Within about 8 minutes, the waves were gone and she felt a whole lot of nothing. And I made a note before I read on. It's like, okay, with this jump in time, shouldn't we, I'm assuming we're going to be in another space as well, that she'll be back in her seat. And in fact, the ugly beige of the small space reminded her. And I was thinking she was back sitting in her chair, but then it says she should go back to her seat. So I bumped on this idea that she's actually sitting or standing in the bathroom for 8 minutes. And yeah, I don't know how to, Eileen's smart.
And it's a long time to be in an airport bathroom or an airplane bathroom, right? Because someone outside, like there's even a knock earlier, I think, where someone is wanting to get in. So this is a long time in the bathroom. So I just might be within 8 minutes, the waves were gone. She felt a whole lot of nothing. She'd even managed to ignore the constant knocking on the door. Something like that would just make sure that we're still placed in that moment, and an awareness that it is a long time. Or, within that 8 minutes, she felt a whole lot of nothing. She chased the stewardess away twice who had come to ask about it, or, something like that would just give us, those are just kind of tiny little things, because it's a strong opening. Mm-hmm. It's a great opening to a thriller.
Can I go back one little bit, because it is so strong that I was like looking, come on, I can't say nothing because then I'll look like an idiot. There's one place where you didn't use an active verb, and I just immediately wanted it to be an active verb, and it's all the nerves from her chest up towards her scalp were vibrating. I just wanted it to be her nerves and chest vibrated. Like it just would make it more punchy to my body. Like I would vibrate with it. Anyway, there you go.
That's a good thing. When we get picky, that's a good place to be. So if you'd like us to be picky on your pieces, then you can submit them to the Blue Pencil. We will have some changes coming up, so people can look forward to that. And until then, we will see you around the Academy. Bye-bye, everybody.